For the past couple of months, Sunlu has been providing me with some 3D printing filaments, specifically their PLA Plus and also the Silk PLA in a nice gold color and various other colors. Now, I've been testing and using this stuff for a while now, and it gives fantastic results. And so I'm really happy with the way that it came out and the results that it gives. It is a super high quality PLA. Now, when I receive all of these packages, they are sealed airtight and also have one of these moisture packages in here that removes all of the moisture from the inside of the packaging itself and keeps the filament nice and dry. Now, I've always been wondering why this specifically is. Of course, it is nice to have it dry and not wet or moldy or anything like that, but I presumed it had a different reason, and indeed it does. It is to keep the moisture out of the PLA itself. Now, the problem with PLA or 3D printing filaments is that it is hygroscopic. And that basically means that it is really sensitive to moisture in the air and pretty much sucks it all up into the PLA itself, and therefore pretty much ruining the material and giving you very bad results on the prints themselves with air bubbles and very large inconsistencies in the quality of the PLA. And since we don't want to have ruined prints or just have lots of inconsistencies and ugly layer lines in there, there is something to help fix that. And that, in this case, is the Sunlu dryer. This is specifically designed for the filament. It has, of course, a round shape for the filament rolls to fit in there nicely. And pretty simply, this is an oven to keep your print or to keep your filament dry. On the inside, it has a couple of features. As you can see, a heating element on the top side and also on the bottom. So it has a nice consistent heating source all around the filament when you place it in here. So if you place the roll of filament in here, it is of course enclosed completely top to bottom, and you can see through it just a little bit here. It's not really clear as this is a tinted black cover, so if you're using a darker filament, this is not the ideal color setup you'd actually want to use, but with a different color you can clearly see how much there still is on the roll itself. So with that said, it heats it from the top, from the bottom, and keeps it nice and enclosed and pretty much dehydrates it, removes all of the moisture out of it, and gives you a super steady result in 3D printing and not have very ugly and inconsistent filament to use. Now, of course, you can just store it in here like this, but you can also use it as a sort of spool holder for your 3D printing itself. There is a small hole here on the top side, which you can poke the filament through. And if you put it like this, you can simply just put it next to your printer, insert the filament into the printer, and turn the machine on and have the filament be dried and also preheated a little bit before it enters the printer itself in order to give you a nicer result. Now, of course, this machine does need to be powered on, so there is a power cord that needs to be plugged in, and then you have the on-off button show up on the screen itself. Now, since this is a prototype machine, it is not working ideally yet, so it does need a little bit of help before it actually turns on. So once the machine is turned on, you can have various different settings to help you reach the ideal temperature and ideal moisture level in the actual filament itself. So you can run through the menu and also just turn a couple of things off, as this LED light is really annoying. You can also change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius as well, and then I have it set at 40 degrees as that is for me the ideal temperature. I have tried it at 50 as well, but that slowly starts melting the PLA already and therefore getting it a bit too sticky and a bit too soft, and that doesn't really work for me. I also have the timer here. You can change this too in order to follow along with the printer itself. If it has a printing time of a couple of hours, for instance, you can set it to 2 hours, 3 hours, and just have it turned on the same time the printer itself is turned on. And once this timer runs out, the machine will turn off and therefore save some power as well, and not have to worry about it still being turned on whilst you're not there. Now you can also have different settings in here. In this case it is set for PLA, and that means for me it is set at 40 degrees, and in this case also at a 6-hour time for the printers to run. Now you can again change all of this. So along with that, let's just, you can set it to 6 hours, probably even longer as well. But for certain prints, mostly 2 to 3 hours would be more than enough. Also, one thing that it does show here in the corner is the actual humidity itself in the room, I'm pretty sure. So that is about 44 to 45% at the moment. Some of the other settings on here, you can scroll through the menu and just select the different presets you want to have in there. And then the final thing, there is an LED switch on here too that has a nice ring on there. Not really sure what it is for, but it does look cool. I hope you guys found this a little bit informative, and if you are interested in purchasing one of these, I will be leaving links in the description down below, as they will be released pretty soon by Sunlu themselves. You can also just go to their website and view some of their other products like the PLA and other 3D printing filaments they have to offer. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Hydroscopic. Hydros.